We would like to thank Podcorn for sponsoring this episode of TechTime Radio. Explore sponsorship opportunities and start monetizing your podcast by signing up at podcorn.com/podcasters. Let me tell you about Podcorn. Podcorn is an absolute must for any podcaster starting out. Now, when we started out TechTime Radio, we started out in a back office with a couple of mics. We expanded to a studio, and then now, as you can see, we're on the radio and have distribution into other markets. Having the ability to have Podcorn at the start of our podcast would have been a dream come true. Guess what? With Podcorn, you now have the amazing opportunity for podcasts to receive sponsorship, such as host reads, interview segments, and topical discussions. With Podcorn, there's no middleman. Podcasters of all sizes can browse and choose opportunities right on their platform, set their own rates, and collaborate with brands directly without exclusivities. You never give up the rights of your podcast in Podcorn, and they're here to support you everywhere possible. Visit podcorn.com. Again, that's podcorn.com. Podcorn is a true success for those starting their podcast dreams.
Broadcasting across the nation, from the East Coast to the West, keeping you up to date on technology, while enjoying a little whiskey on the side, with leading-edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
All right, welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, the show that makes you go, Technology News of the Week, the show for the everyday person talking about technology, broadcasting across the nation with insightful segments on subjects weeks ahead of the mainstream media. We welcome our radio audience of 35 million listeners to an hour of insightful technology with a little whiskey on the side. I'm Nathan Mumm. Welcome to our show today. We live stream during our show on 5 of the most popular platforms, including YouTube, Twitch.tv, Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. We encourage you to watch us live or visit us at techtimeradio.com or even tweet us during the show at hashtag TechTimeRadio, and we'll do our best to respond. You can also check out our new TikTok channel by looking for TechTime Radio on the TikTok app. I'm your host, a technologist with over 30 years of technology expertise. My co-host here, Mike Riddle, is an award-winning author, originally from Arizona. Mike is a human behavior expert living in the Seattle area with a master's degree in forensic psychology. Mike keeps me from geeking out while providing insight into human behavior and how it interacts with technology. We're two friends from different backgrounds, but bring the best technology show possible every week to our family, friends, and fans to enjoy. Welcome to the show, Mr. Gourdet.
You too.
How you doing?
Good.
Good. You didn't stay up too late last night, did you?
Maybe.
Maybe till like 1 in the morning?
I was awake more than somebody else was.
You were. I was falling asleep.
You were falling asleep during
battling the Sea of Thieves video game. We were taking on a boat pirate ship.
That's right, and you were falling asleep while I was getting slaughtered.
Yeah, I did. Like, hey, Nathan, these guys are attacking me. I'm watching you from an island over there saying, oh, yeah, it looks good. All right, well, I'm glad you're here today.
It was more like...
All right, everybody. Let's get ready to start today's show.
Now on today's show.
Oh, boy. Microsoft to take on Facebook head on.
Head on, huh?
Uh-huh. Is Meta starting to crumble?
I don't know. I know what you think. I know what you're after.
I know. Here we go. We're going to talk about that. And how does the UK set up to have the world's most extensive automated drone superhighway? You're going to be talking about that a little later.
Yep, I'll be talking about that.
All right. Amazon targets fake review fraudsters on Facebook. Another great tool for Facebook to have fraudsters on there. They give fake reports.
You know, it's like a soap opera with these guys, man.
You have one company suing the other company.
Yeah, this company's going to sue that one. This one's going to jump over this one. Elon's going to buy that, and he's not going to buy it. It's like crazy.
It is.
It's like World Wrestling.
You know what? It's kind of like a old-fashioned daily soap opera, right? You don't know what's going to happen.
Do you remember Soap?
Oh, I do not remember Soap.
Soupy Sales?
I do not.
Oh, you're too old.
You're too young. Or a little too young for that. All right. We're also going to talk about subscribers to new feeds and contents and how many people actually sign up for information and then cancel the same day. The numbers are astonishing. All right.
Really?
We have James Riddle joining us. We're going to be talking about animals and science and the technology behind some interesting critters helping us with cancer. So we're going to be talking about that. And then we're going to have Gwen way back with gadgets and gear. She's got a gadget that I funded this morning, so I had a little sneak peek about it. I was one of the 4 remaining backers to get in on the level 1. So we'll see if that level 1 backer is still available or not by the time she gets on the show itself.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, we got This Week in Technology, Mike's Mesmerizing Moment, and, of course, our Pick of the Day whiskey tasting. You may even get a Nathan Nugget of the Week if we do not run out of time. So sit back, raise a glass, and welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. It's now time to start our show with our loaded question of the week, brought to you by Elderberry Boost. Get your Elderberry Boost today at elderberry-boost.com. Mike Odie, here is the loaded question. What is one thing you'd like to learn how to do in the next year?
You know, I've always wanted to learn how to play the cello.
Okay.
But I'm not going to be doing that this year.
But that's just your goal, if you had a goal?
This year, I'm just learning how to be married again.
How to be married again?
Yeah.
And is that yes, dear, yes, dear, yes, dear?
It's rough.
It is different. How long were you a bachelor for?
Over 10 years.
Yeah. So you got that whole thing about cooperation and collaboration and communication, all those big C words.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Odie, the question's to you.
I'd like to learn how to make spinach puffs.
Okay. Oh, there's silence.
Well, you weren't really expecting that, were you?
Spinach puffs.
Spinach puffs.
What is that?
They're like pastry puffs that are filled with spinach, like cream of spinach.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They're like crab puffs with spinach.
Oh, okay. Speaking of crabs, we're going to be talking about
I know.
That's an interesting story about
the
that.
The gross crabs.
Do you know what I would like to learn to do?
What?
I would like to learn
pronunciation.
Wow. Hooked on phonics. I'm going to go through the whole course.
Okay.
No, I think that I am going to be most interested in learning how to do like either woodworking. I want to do some woodworking, or taking apart my guns and painting them. I have a bunch of Nerf guns, and I like painting those and modding them. So those are the two things I'll be working on.
You were talking at the beginning of doing a reason table.
I was going to do a reason table.
A resin table.
That's right. Okay, here we go. Mike, as always, we have our whiskey tastings during the commercial to see if we selected our whiskey pick of the day. If you get 0, 1, or 2 thumbs up at the end of the show, we'll let you know. And you also want to make sure you listen all the way through for some interesting facts on Marc's Mumbles. We'll get you to go with the whiskey facts you'll learn today. Now it's time for the latest headline in the world of technology. Let's start this next
What's happening in the world of technology? This is our top stories in the first 5 minutes.
All right. Story number 1, Microsoft to take on Facebook head on in the workspace. Exactly 10 years ago, Microsoft completed its $1.2 billion purchase of Yammer, an enterprise-focused social networking platform. Despite the big hammer overhaul in 2019, Microsoft has been increasingly focused on Teams and its new Viva platform. Viva platform.
Yeah, I haven't heard of this.
I know. This
today.
just got announced today. As the hub of communications in the workplace, Microsoft launched today Microsoft Viva Engine, a new Facebook-like app inside of Teams that encourages social networking at work. Viva Engine builds on some of the strengths of Yammer, promoting digital communities, conversation, and self-expression in the workplace. Viva Engine looks exactly like Facebook. It replicates it, including Storyline section, which is effectively your Facebook news feed, featuring conversational posts, videos, image, and more. There is not a clone out there that has looked so much like Facebook until now.
You think this is kind of like a yeah.
Well, you know what? I told you that I think Facebook's going to crumble in the next 5 years.
You're really hot for that one.
So you know what's going to happen is it's going to become like MySpace. So Microsoft says, you know what? Forget it. We're just going to copy you all the way. We'll release it first to business because you don't own the business market very well. And if we can get the businesses to do it, then we'll just let it be available for everybody.
I got to say, though, working with Teams, I'm not a big fan of Teams. Okay. I'm not really a big fan of having a social network in my Teams.
Well, I think that's how they're releasing it right now. But I think if they were to go into the consumer
they
model,
want to go into a consumer model.
They'll just be a website, just like Facebook itself.
Yeah, I'm not really all that excited about this.
Well, okay. Well, Microsoft is increasingly concerned about Meta's push into the enterprise, and the pair are increasingly on a collision course for the metaverse competition itself.
Yeah, we'll just talk about Amazon here in a minute.
There you go. All right, so that's what we got going on. Now, story number 2 shifts to you there, Mike.
Yeah, hey, you remember the Star Wars prequels, right?
I do.
All right, you may or may not be a fan, but
They're
remember,
okay.
you remember all that air traffic on Coruscant in Attack of the Clones?
I do, yep.
Well, the UK is rapidly developing the precursor to that with the largest automated drone superhighway. Within the next couple of years, the project, which is part of a £273 million aerospace package, will connect numerous cities throughout the UK with a 164-mile sky lane for automated drone travel.
So is this kind of like a Back to the Future lane where everybody's going to kind of stay in it then?
Well, they're for drones, so they're going to be connecting these cities by drones. Remember we did that story a few weeks ago?
Yep.
So the official news is set to be announced, if it already hasn't been, at the Farnborough International Air Show, which is going on this week, by Business Secretary Kwasi Kwarteng. And I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Kwasi Kwarteng?
Yeah, I'm
Kwarteng?
going. Yeah, whatever.
Okay, that's how we pronounce it.
Okay, yeah, okay. I'm going to take that. I'm going to take a lesson from you.
Okay.
So the company, which is called Skyway, has been involved in trials all around the UK and is now ready to scale up. This is a group of projects. This is part of a group of projects that includes plans to use drones to provide regular deliveries of mail and medicine to the Isles of Scilly and across Scotland, which we did a story about that a couple of weeks ago. Of primary concern to the project developers right now are safety and acceptance. The technology being used is based on ground-based sensors installed along the highways that provide guidance systems for the drones. Of course, drones in the air do not pose as much of a risk as those taking off or landing. That is where crashes are mostly expected to happen and where drones are likely to become in close contact with other people. So they're really paying attention to these areas.
So kind of just like your planes coming on in. So
so this would be just like the airport. Yep.
Okay.
So and then secondary, while the safety is a major concern, the secondary issue they're working on is whether or not people are going to accept these new, confusing, and noisy travel lanes in their daily lives.
Those high-pitched hums, man. Some of those are
exactly.
I mean, those are pretty tough. Those you can hear them all over everywhere. And
I know, and they're not fun to listen to. They
not.
sound like huge bees. But it's more likely. Studies are showing that it's more likely that people will have a better attitude if they are, delivering emergency medical support rather than, like getting your favorite ice latte delivered like people want to do here in the States.
Yeah. In Texas, where everybody's getting their Starbucks orders delivered to them on
That's right.
Drone. Yeah, okay. Well, do you have anything else on that? Because we're going to go right into Amazon next.
No, go back to Amazon and how they're going against Facebook, too.
Yeah, so Amazon targets fake review fraudsters on social media directly looking to attack Facebook reviews. Fed up with the false reviews, Amazon has filed a lawsuit against the organizers of more than 10,000 Facebook groups that publish bogus reviews on its products. The e-commerce giant has had years to tackle these fake reviews, and they don't know what to do about it besides having legal action. Now, the platform that is having this most issue is the U.S., U.K., German, France, Italy, Spain, and Japan. The reviews are used
pretty much all of them.
Yeah, are used to encourage buyers to buy goods by boosting product ratings. What individuals conducting these comprehensive reviews are normally either compensated by free product or even money for their fake reviews.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Have you ever done a review for money?
I have never done a review for money, but I have been asked by many people to do reviews for money.
Have you? And I've been asked to do, I did do one for a safe. You know what? I did this safe on Amazon. It was called Simply Safe, and it's like this safe type of deal. And
don't promote that product right now.
Well, okay. And so I did. So the deal was, if I did a review, if I liked it, then they would allow me to have that unit for free.
Mm-hmm.
So was I biased to the review? Absolutely, because I got it for free. But I did spend the time to actually compare a couple other ones. And it met the areas that I needed for. And so I'm not like a big safe nerd. So I wasn't going to go and compare like 30 different safes. But if you can open a safe, put a combination on it, put your thumbprint on it, and it opens and closes, I think that works the way it should.
You don't have to worry about Tom Cruise showing up with a cord and breaking into it?
No, I don't think so. I think we're okay with that. So there you go. All right, number 4, subscription sleeper giants. Apps that are essentially sign up the same day and cancel. So let's talk about it. More than 43% of digital media subscribers are now ghosting their accounts the day after they subscribe. So essentially, that's almost 50% of people when you sign up for a digital service. Like, I wanted to get an article from the New York Times. Yep. So it says I can sign up for free for 7 days.
Right.
And then they're going to charge me X amount. So I signed up for free on an email address, and I got 3 or 4. Then after I got the article that I needed, I essentially unsubscribed, and I am the growing number of what everybody else is doing on this also.
Yeah, I do it.
So essentially the research has come on out saying that this is causing a huge problem, what they call subscription sleepers, where they're saying more than 43% of all people in the United States are signing up for these services and canceling. People say that they're now going to raise the cost and put the times down instead of 7 days all the way down to 2 hours to 4 hours to combat this problem.
Yeah, because that's really going to work.
So what's the problem is if I am looking for a news article and it's in a news feed that you have out there and you want to charge me $4, $6 a month to get that news article, then just don't post it on the internet. And I can get it in a different digital format. But when you post a link out there and I click on something and I want to learn more about it, it is very frustrating that they always want to charge you.
Yeah, well, I have the same problem with apps that you can use for free, but you have to deal with ads. And you pay to get rid of the ads. Yeah. No, I'm not going to pay to get rid of the ads. I'm just going to get rid of the app.
You just get rid of the app?
Yeah.
You know what?
Your little app isn't worth my time.
This is what, if you want to steal our information for free apps, we're all willing to give away all that information, right? But if you try to start charging us money, man, that's when it's a whole different level. Well, those are our top stories that we got through. Up next, we're going to have our segment Ask the Expert with James Riddle, Vice President from Research Services and Strategic Consulting at Advera. At this time, we're going to be talking about animals and technology. We have the question to ask James: how are animals making a difference in our lives in the medical field? We'll be back in a moment. You're listening to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's up?
Are you interested in traveling now again?
Of course, isn't everybody?
Yes, I think they are. And I got a deal for you.
Tell me.
Affordable World is excited to introduce a brand new tour.
Oh, is that the new Inspiring Istanbul and Malta tour?
That's correct.
All right. They will have you exploring the timeless mystique of Istanbul, where you'll lose yourself in its multicultural texture and lively atmosphere. Then discover the tiny island paradise of Malta, a hidden gem where you can escape to see spectacular beaches, rolling fields, and endless vineyards.
You can save $100 per person with the code that we're going to give you right here at TechTime Radio called Hidden Gem. Again, just like Malta, if you type in the code Hidden Gem at checkout, you can save $100 per person. Airfare and accommodation are included. Visit affordableworld.com to book today. You visit the 2 incredible destinations on one single trip. The discount code Hidden Gem can be entered at checkout. It cannot be combined with any other offers, and the promotion runs July 1st through September 30th. Make sure to sign up now. Again, visit affordableworld.com. That's affordableworld.com to start your vacation adventure. All right, welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, the radio show that's a weekly hour technology show about all of your technology in a simple format without having to geek out. Brought to you by myself, Nathan Mumm, and Mike Roday here. We just had our first whiskey tasting during the break, and now let me tell you about what we're sipping for our pick of the day. Today we have chosen the Four Roses Small Batch. It's 104 proof, $64.95. The master distiller Brent Elliott selected and mingled 6 of Four Roses' 10 bourbon recipes using 2 different mash bills and 3 different yeast strains, each aged at a minimum of 6 years to handcraft the Small Batch Select. Non-chilled, filtered, and 104 proof, this bourbon offers truly unique flavors and characteristics. We got a little bit of apricots, berry, vanilla, and a light oak, delivering a creamy mouthfeel with this finish of lingering spearmint and a light touch of cinnamon. And what do you think?
Yes.
You think yes.
Yes.
What does that mean?
It's very smooth.
Okay.
It has no bite.
It has no bite.
And I can taste some of those things.
You can taste those things.
Yeah, especially the spearmint.
It can at the end. It kind of clears the palate. I like it.
Mhm.
I like it. All right, we're going to be learning about this. This is a blend of 75% corn, 20% rye, 5% malted barley, and a little bit of mixes and matches in between. It is, again, 104 proof. It is the Curran Brewery Company in Luxembourg, Kentucky, USA. So this is done in the United States, and this is pretty good stuff.
Most of our stuff is done in the U.S.
Well,
Except for the
no,
gross
some
Canadian
Japanese. You
mist.
got some Japanese stuff. So, all right. Well, talking about whiskey.
Let's talk about this
We're going
because
to
this is gross.
Okay, so I had a listener decide to send this in, and a distillery is fighting invasive crabs by turning them into whiskey. This is all about animals today, so let me just tell you a little bit about
Let's talk about crab
green
whiskey.
crabs are an invasive pest that have plagued the North American marine ecosystem for more than 200 years. A New Hampshire distillery is taking on the problem by using them to make green crab-flavored whiskey. Green crabs are abundant, so there's no big deal about using the whiskey to curb their population and add a little bit of additional taste for that crab-flavored feeling. So it's Tamworth Distillery are the crab trappers, and they are using this along with other earth tones and shellfish to make this taste like a seafood
So you're going
splendor.
to have a spicy mix of
So there you go.
fishy crabs with a long pinch at the end.
So what happens is you had crabs coming up into your distillery, and some intern said,
somebody
"Hey,
said-
guess what? You know what? We should just add crabs to the whiskey." And then all the executives were like, "Oh my word, that's the best idea ever."
No, they got toasted on the stuff with the worm tequila. They
Tequila?
got toasted
Yeah.
on tequila and said, "Hey,
We can now put
we
crabs in it.
could do this with crabs."
All right, okay. Well, make sure you stay all the way through the end of the show to see if we give this a 1 thumbs, 2 thumbs, or 3.
We're not
thumbs
drinking crab
up.
whiskey. Just
No,
just to
we're
make that clear.
drinking, of course, the Four Roses.
We're
All right.
drinking real bourbon.
Well, now that we got our whiskey out of the way, let's get ready to introduce our next guest. This is James Riddle. James is the Vice President of Research Services and Strategic Consulting at Advera. He is our medical field expert for TechTime Radio, and he's ready to join us on the show.
Welcome to the segment we call Ask the Experts with our TechTime Radio expert, James Riddle.
All right.
Hi, James.
Good afternoon, James.
Well, I got to tell you, crab-flavored whiskey is a hard act to follow, guys.
So, this is all about animals today.
It
we were
probably tastes better than Canadian Mist.
Well, or what was that other stuff that we
I don't
had?
know the stuff that killed me the other day.
The other day where you had to leave the show.
Where I had to leave the show.
All right, James, we always enjoy having you on the show. Do you realize that we have talked about real-life Jurassic Park, gene-altering DNA, and today's subject may be the oddest topic yet that we've had on the show.
I don't think it's that
We're going to be
odd.
talking about cancer research and technology with animals. Now, most of us want to avoid scorpions and their venom, right? Do you have a scorpion? Do you have a pet scorpion at your house?
Why would you ask questions
Well,
like
I
that?
just
No,
asked.
I don't
I'm just
have
being
pet
careful to
scorpions.
make sure that
I
you
lived
didn't
in
say you have them.
Arizona. I didn't have to have them. They were just always
Okay.
around.
So scorpions and their venom are a good thing to avoid. But medical researchers have found a way to use scorpion venom to help children with brain cancer. They've created a synthetic version of the venom without the actual poison. They call it BLZ-100 or tumor paint. Now, I was reading this article and I was like, what is going on here? So, of course, what do? I send it to James. I said, James, we got to get you on the show to explain what's going on. So here we go, James. What is tumor paint and how does it work? I didn't even know there was such a thing.
So you couldn't imagine this in a science fiction show.
Okay.
Sometimes, but it is just an amazing piece of technology. And interestingly, it was developed right in the Pacific Northwest, down at the Fred Hutch, right in our own backyard.
Yes.
So if you think about a scorpion and you shine a black light on a scorpion, it'll glow. For anybody, like I live in Arizona, we go out in the backyard, we look at the black lights, and if there's scorpions there, you walk the other way because you don't want to interact with them. Well, they glow for a reason. And so there was a very brilliant investigator at the Fred Hutch by the name of Jim Olson. So Dr. Olson and his team wanted to figure out, okay, scorpions glow. How might we be able to use that for the improvement of human health? And I'll come back to the scorpions in just a minute. So if you have a brain tumor, terrible stuff, folks are going to want to do surgery to excise the tumor out of your brain. So they take an MRI. Everybody's seen them on the sci-fi shows, right? You take the MRI and the doctor puts it up on the slide and there's a little glowing piece and they can open up your skull and take the brain tumor out.
Yep.
Well, the challenge is, you can look at the slide in the MRI scan and you can see the tumor on the slide up on the wall. But when you're actually take somebody's skull off and you're looking at their brain, the tumor looks gray and mushy, just like the rest of the brain. It doesn't look different. And so if you're the surgeon and you're responsible for getting out all of the brain tissue that's tumorized, right? All the brain tumor tissue and none of the good stuff, you're constantly looking back and forth to other places in the room trying to figure out how much to take out of the brain.
Okay.
So Dr. Olson and his team figured out a way to take the scorpion venom, synthesize it so that it would bind specifically to brain tumor cells.
Okay.
Now, a lot of science, a lot of brilliant folks on how to make that work, but it became what's now commonly is tumor paint. It's an approved product. And so if you have a brain tumor and you go in for surgery to have that tumor taken out of your brain tissue, they can inject you with this tumor paint and the synthesized venom will go into your bloodstream, go find the tumor cells in your brain, and they shine a black light into your skull, and the tumor tissue glows.
How about that? Black lighting for tumors.
Separate from your brain tissue. And so the researcher or the person who's doing the surgery can see where the tumor cells are at, make sure they don't leave any. Because that's bad, right? You don't want to leave any in there because it'll grow back and then you have to do the surgery over again. But you don't want to take too much because you don't want to take healthy brain tissue because you might cause some damage. And so it's just an amazing synthesis of animal research utilizing the natural environment that's around us to try and solve human health conditions. So
is that part of the whole glowing scorpion thing? Is there venom? Or is it just natural phosphorescence in their skin cells?
For Dr. Olson and his team figured out a way to take the venom specifically and the luminescence that's inside the venom and synthesize it in a way that they could take those cells and process them to be able to bind specifically to the brain tumor tissue.
Cool.
And so if you could do that, you could probably have it bind to other tissue too, right? So if you wanted to have it go to your bones and you want to be this glow-in-the-dark type of guy and your bones are...
Yeah, you would think about that. You would think about, hey, where can I radiate my skeleton so I can look like a natural guy skeleton on Halloween?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. There you go. You could probably do some genetic manipulation.
I'm thinking about how cool it is that you can use this stuff, and you're like, "Oh, how can I make a Halloween costume out of it?"
But you don't tell me that wouldn't be the best Halloween costume ever.
I'm not gonna tell you that.
Okay, all right.
It's cool.
All right, so that's very interesting.
I can see it now. He's going to go out and get some glowfish stuff. And he's going to glow like the little goldfish.
You can tell as soon as his eyebrows go up though what he's thinking.
Got something. All right, well,
it's either Star Trek or Halloween or something.
Okay, here we go. The next thing we got, moving on from scorpions. Now we're moving to something that's a little bit more crunchy. So we're moving into locusts, and we have a story here again about cancer and how scientists have hacked a locust's brain to sniff out human cancer. Now, he can't make this stuff up. If I could make this stuff up, I could.
We actually, the science of insects is a real big contributor to technology in the medical field.
It is.
And in other places. They use spider silk for all kinds of stuff and,
Yeah, all right, so explain this to us here, James. Explain how are animals able, or specifically a locust's brain, to sniff out cancer? What's that about? I understand dogs, because if you go to the airport, right, you can have a dog sniff for bombs or whatever. But now we're having locusts sniff for cancer. So tell me all about this.
we use in the animal world in just amazing ways to benefit humans. The dogs, the bomb sniffing dogs at the airport, they have bomb sniffing bees, right?
Wow.
So you can train bees to be able to seek out different pheromones. I mean, animals just sense the world around us in a way that humans just don't.
Yep.
And so grasshoppers, for instance, they've got these big antenna things on their head. And if you think about a grasshopper, right, they hop around and they do stuff. But the sensors on those antenna are pretty sensitive. They can sense different changes in the air down to like 1 and 2 parts per billion. So if you can hack into a grasshopper's brain, what would be considered its brain, and train the antenna to sense certain chemical compounds or pheromones or whatever it is that you're giving off as a human, you can detect things using the grasshopper brain that you couldn't with a commercial or synthetic sniffer machine.
So you're telling me the
so now I'm going to
grasshoppers-
go down the hospital, and then I'm like, I'm feeling sick, and they put me in a room and release all these things.
These animals,
and
you're gonna have,
and they come and
they got
zip
the
on me.
eels coming on down. They got the bees coming on
That's
down. We
right.
got the locusts.
Oh,
We're like,
yeah.
here you go, right here. Just sit around and see what happens.
We're probably not going to have the grasshoppers like living with us at the hospital.
Okay.
But what they could do, what the plan is here is they'll take some of your tissue or some of your cheek swab or some other kind of part of you, and they'll take it back to the lab and they'll use the hacked brain grasshoppers to be able to figure out, do you have a particular kind of cancer circulating in your body?
Wow.
And interestingly, it's much more sensitive than anything we've been able to create synthetically, which is for the same reason why we still use bomb sniffing dogs at the airport rather than a sniffer that we went and constructed ourselves.
That's just amazing.
Well, yeah, the whole thing is, I don't know if you've ever worked with wolves, but they will separate people who are sick from the group.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's quite odd.
And how they can tell.
And
is that why they have the slower ones
disturbing.
always at the back of the pack? Isn't that what they have?
I'm not an expert on wolves, but I worked with a group that did wolf rescue, and they had wolves all over the place, and they would separate people who were sick.
So let me ask you this, though. So you're saying
why?
that we have pheromones that give off if we have cancer that locusts can pick up. So I would never think that. So if I have cancer, so my body probably has all these different alerts, and if we get enough animals together, they could probably do cancer and do different type of stuff and figure out what's wrong with the body instead of having to go through
that would be a
big
really
scanning.
interesting petting zoo.
It would be, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Come on in here and take a look at it. But
And we do that a lot with animals. I mean, we have companion animals that can tell when you're about to have a seizure,
yep.
where you wouldn't be able to detect that medically, but the animal knows. The reason for the grasshoppers, they're cheap and easy.
Is that why they're doing it on grasshoppers? Is it easier to use
You could probably train a dog to be able to sniff out the same thing that they're using the grasshopper antennas for, but grasshoppers are prevalent and cheap and easy.
What are
That's
you
right
laughing
up
about?
your alley, right? They're cheap.
Wow. So all I know is that grasshoppers in every animated film that I ever watched, they're always the bad villain guys. So you know what? Now they're going to save us from cancer. So quit watching those movies like Ants and Bug's Life where the grasshoppers are the bad people, because they're the ones that are going to help you save cancer.
Okay, there's
my
your,
PSA announcement.
Yeah, there's your PSA
for saving grasshoppers. All right, James. Any other animals that we need to be alerted about? Since we got crabs, we got scorpions, we got locusts here. Any other animals that you know about in the market that we should keep our eye out for?
Well, when you're talking about crabs, we rely in the health industry on horseshoe crab blood. They bleed horseshoe crabs for their blue blood to make a number of different products in the pharmaceutical and healthcare industry.
Okay.
If it wasn't for horseshoe crabs, there's a lot of therapeutics on the market that just wouldn't exist. So when you go to the beach on the East Coast and you see those little crazy horseshoe crab things rolling around,
be nice to them.
You should say, like, go pet one.
Right.
Right. Or so, like, go back in the surf. Don't die.
Don't die.
So that we can catch you later and get some of your blue blood.
All right, James.
We'll kill you later.
That's right. And then we'll put you on a dinner plate, but only after we get your blood.
We'll take your blood and we'll make whiskey out of you.
That horseshoe crabs are not good eating.
Okay.
Although I'm intrigued now about this green crab whiskey.
So all of us. If we can find some, trust me, we will get some. And if so, I'll send some to that beautiful place in Arizona that you guys have.
We'll definitely have to sample that.
That would be very interesting. All right, James. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to have to continue on. We got lots more stories. I look forward to our next encounter, hopefully next month, where who knows what we'll talk about. We may have a completely
Let's talk about ants.
We'll talk about ants. Okay, there you go. Thank you, James. Have a great day.
Bye, James.
Take care, guys.
All right, that ends our segment, Ask the Expert. Up next, we have This Week in Technology. So it'll be a great time to enjoy a little whiskey on the side, as we'll be doing so also during the break. You're listening to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm. See you in a few minutes. Hey, Mike.
What?
Have you heard of elderberry?
Only in reference to a Monty Python movie.
Well, let me tell you, Elderberry Boost. Again, that's elderberry-boost.com.
Elderberry Boost.
Yes, Mike, that's Elderberry Boost.
You can choose organic Elderberry Boost, that 8-ounce size. That's available on sale right now at $11.99. But you're listening here right now on TechTime Radio, so you need to go to Elderberry. That's ELDERBERRY-boost.com and get some today.
Elderberry Boost.
Elderberry is an all-natural organic immune system booster and antiviral. Elderberry is known to actively fight against viruses, including colds and the flu. It also works as a natural remedy for allergies, cancer, digestion, heart disease, high cholesterol, headache, toothache, weight loss, and reduced inflammation.
It's a natural and healthy diuretic and has many antiviral properties. While it is famous for fighting the flu, it is effective for any illness.
Elderberry Boost was created to provide a quality organic elderberry to their customers. After searching years ago for a perfect elderberry syrup, none could be found, so they essentially created their own homemade recipe.
If you would like to get 15% off your first order of Elderberry Boost, just put in the discount code TechTime at checkout.
Again, that's elderberry-boost.com.
Elderberry Boost.
Hello, my name is Arthur, and my life's work is connecting people with coffee. StoriCoffee is a small batch specialty coffee company that uses technology to connect people to each product resource, which allows farmers to unlock their economic freedom. Try our Medium Roast Founder Series coffee, which is an exotic bourbon variety that is smooth, fresh, and elegant at StoriCoffee.com. That's STORI coffee.com. Today you can get your first bag free when you subscribe at StoriCoffee.com with code TechTime. That's STORI coffee.com.
And now, let's look back at this week in technology.
All right, we got July 17th, 1970. Ralph Baer demonstrates the video game system he has invented. Simply called the Brown Box, to Magnavox Engineering, Production, and Marketing Management in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Baer was demoed this Brown Box to many TV manufacturers, including RCA, GE Zenith, Sylvania, and Magnavox themselves, without any licensing agreement. And then all of a sudden, a licensing agreement with RCA was written, but canceled in March of that year. It was his demo that essentially got the Magnavox VP of Marketing to eventually lead the creation of the very first home video game system, the Magnavox Odyssey, and the birth of the video game industry. The Odyssey consists of either a white, black, or brown box that connects to a television set and has two rectangular controllers attached by wires. It's capable of displaying 3 squares of dots in one line at a time and varying in height on the screen in monochrome black and white, and with different behavior for the dots depending on the game played. Players place plastic overlays on the screen to display additional visual elements for the game, and there are 1 and 2 players for each of the games to control their dots and knobs and buttons on the controller in accordance with the rules given for the game. The console cannot generate audio or track scores, so the Odyssey console came with a package of dice, paper money, and other board game paraphernalia to accompany the game, while the peripheral controller, the very first light gun, would be sold separately. Now, I have one of these Magnavox in, this is the 200 model.
Yeah, Odyssey 200.
So this is not the original. I have the original, but I didn't get it out of storage, and I've shown it to all of our staff on TechTime Radio. But I have one here. What does this look like? Doesn't it just look like a television hookup with all the knobs and tubes?
It looks like a prehistoric Wii Fit.
You know what? It kind of does. It does. It kind of. You want to look that up and show everybody there, so everybody can take a look. So that is the Odyssey 200. I have a collection of the Odyssey. I have the original Odyssey. Thank you, Vanna. And this unit, all it does is it puts up little dots on the screen. You have to know what the rules are. You have to know what the games are and whether it does 2 dots or 1 dots. Then you look at a piece of paper that says, oh, that means you got a run, or that means you got a touchdown, or that means you move your player here. So it was all really board-based with little dots that would be randomly programmed on your television screen.
Yeah, that's why Pong was better.
Well, Pong came up after this. So let me just tell you, this is predating. This is really the original video game console. And if you have a video game console library, you have to have the original.
Well, I know you do.
Okay, well, that's all right.
In triplicate.
That was This Week in Technology. Have you ever wanted to watch some Tech Time history? With over 2 years of videos, podcasts, and blog information, you can visit techtimeradio.com and watch our older shows, or join the Tech Timers Facebook group to talk with us all live all the time. We're going to take a commercial break, but when we return, we are going to have a cool gadget in our Gadgets and Gear segment with Gwen Wade just around the corner after Marc's Mumbles. We'll see you after the break.
An accident claimed her daughter's lives. Her husband's life hangs in the balance, and Rue feels like she's losing her mind. A brand new psychological thriller from author Eve S. Evans, available for pre-order today. As Rue tries to figure out how to be alone in the family home, strange noises, voices, and shadows reveal themselves to her. Questions bubble to the surface. Are Rue's daughters haunting her? Why can't she remember what happened when they went off the bridge into the icy water below? Beneath the Water by Eve S. Evans. Available on Amazon June 29th.
And now for Marc's Mumbles! All right, we got the Four Roses Small Batch Select, 104 proof, $64.95. So Marc's Mumbles. So the question is, if you love Four Roses, do you get the less expensive single barrel or the small batch select? Now, the small batch, I don't think you'd do anything to hurt to get the small batch select, my personal opinion.
Yeah, well.
Okay, so here we go. The single barrel can deliver some stunning bottles that come from honey barrels. Honey barrels means that even though the same juice is poured into each barrel, every barrel will take on a slightly different character and flavor. A honey barrel would be one that the distillers consider exceptional and the best of the bunch. Now, single barrel can also deliver some average bottles. However, small batch select constantly delivers a unique sip with a great palate every time, equaling or surpassing the single barrel honey barrels. The end result for the small batch select is that, and definitely it's worth the splurge. It will be Marc's new always have on hand bourbon that Marc keeps in his collection and is one that he recommends for everyone to try themselves. He gives this a big 2 thumbs up.
Hey, he's not allowed.
Is that he's right on this one? I think. I think that's how I'm leaning to too. All right. Well, thank you for those Marc Mumbles. We always enjoy having Marc in here. Now, Marc's going to be joining us on the show live studio one of these weeks. Mr. Gourdet is going to be out on vacation, so that he's going to have to do a mumble right here directly on the air. We'll see how that goes. Well, our next guest is welcome backing to the show, or is welcome backing?
Welcome backing, huh?
That just drank the whiskey.
We
welcome Gwen back to the show. We love having her be a part of our Gadgets and Gear segment starting now.
What's new in our Gadgets and Gear?
Hi, Gwen.
Oh, Gwen, this whiskey is fantastic.
Welcome backing. It must be good whiskey.
Oh, it's good.
Don't give it away.
Well, okay, I'm not going to give it away. All right, okay. So, Gwen, let me just tell you, we're going to get right into your object here and talk about it. But I backed it, so I'll just tell you that I backed it this morning.
You backed
there was everything. 4 left in the original backer, so I could get in at the cheap price of $99 price.
Are you sure you didn't backing it?
No, I backed it.
I'm
a backer. It says I'm a backer.
Backing.
So tell us about this great product. What is it? And why did I back it? And why are you backing it and everybody else should?
Well, everybody should back this. Unfortunately, it has nothing to do with insects, either marine or land. But what it is a tire inflator. It's portable, which is always good. And it is stronger than the average.
Okay. So what does that mean by stronger than the average?
Well, generally, if you've got one of the portable air condition or tire inflators that lives on the side of your computer or inside your car. Wow, I can't talk, and I can't even blame it on
Have you been having some whiskey too?
I have not, ironically. I feel kind of bad about that. I feel like I should have if I'm going to be having this much trouble.
Oh, there you go. There you go. All right. So the name of it again is what? What is it called?
The name of it is One Pro Portable Tire Inflator.
Okay.
It is a compact tire inflator that you can keep in the back of the car. It is rechargeable, but has up to 400 days of standby time.
Okay.
So you can charge it once, throw it in your car, and if you'd never use it, you charge it once a year.
So it's kind of a yearly charge. Okay, so that's perfect. Okay. And what does this charger do? So it inflates tires, right? But it does way more than that. Because if it's just a tire inflator, I guess you can find those all over the place. What is unique about what this unit does?
Well, there are a couple of unique things. First of all, the fact that it's rechargeable is pretty unique. It inflates 4 times faster than the average charger, which is excellent, especially if you're caught on the side of the road. It also has 4 different default settings. It has a setting for cars, a setting for motorcycles, a setting for bicycles, and also a setting for beach balls, just in case, apparently.
Okay, I guess when you go to the beach,
Yeah, that's the first thing I think of.
Right?
I need to. Although, so the nice thing about
Would
it
it
is
work
this
for an
is-
air mattress?
I'm sure it does.
Actually, it probably would.
I'm
Yeah.
sure it does.
It doesn't have a default setting for air mattress, so you might have to play around with that a little, but I'm sure you can figure that out. The other really cool thing that it does, above and beyond the fact that it's faster than most, and I just lost it. It
has a smart feature.
most, but it also has the ability to charge or to inflate up to 200 car tires. Up to, I think it's 150 bicycle tires. So really, if you're just driving around with those Scorpions out in Arizona and you get a flat bike tire, you're set.
And it also has real-time tire pressure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So what it does is when you're inflating it, it will know your model of your car based upon your inflation of how much it's filling up the tire.
Yeah, it'll know.
Stop. So I don't have to know if it's 25 PSI, 28 PSI, and that's the most annoying thing when I have, because I live out in the Hicks, and I got like 50 axles at my house, right? So I got tires
but you don't actually use them.
Well, they sit there, but
Details.
there's different PSIs, and so you have to get it on and out. One's 15 PSI, one's 25 PSI. This will self-regulate it, find out what the PSI is, fill it up, and then you're done.
That's awesome.
So I got one of these. I'm
really
putting it in my car.
Kick it.
You don't have to kick it. You don't have to have that extra additional tester. You don't have to deflate it. It is by far one of the best. Now, how many backers, how many days to go, and how much money has been raised?
Well, it is going to close up on the 10th of September.
Okay.
So you have over 50 days to go still. Plenty of time. Right now, you're looking at 504 backers. We're down to the last 2 at the 99 level. So anybody out there?
It was
wanting to
4
jump
this
in on
morning,
it,
so I got one
do
of
it
those
now.
2. So that's one of them. Those are Nathan's.
Exactly. The next level is 109. It's still a steal at that cost. So definitely go out and do it.
Yeah, there you go. Your locust price.
Exactly. They were originally seeking $5,000. I'm just going to go ahead and say that this has definitely been fully funded. They're sitting at just under $87,000 right now.
Wow, that is amazing. Okay, so go to Kickstarter, look up for the One Pro Portable Tire Inflator, or you can go to TechTimeRadio.com and also look there because we'll have all of our show notes with a link directly for the availability to purchase. All right, anything else to leave us with, Gwen?
Just be glad that we are using the bugs and the bugs aren't using us.
There you
got
go.
Nothing else for you.
All right, we'll see you at our production meeting. Thank you for joining the show today, Gwen.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we have Mike's Mesmerizing Moment brought to us by StoriCoffee and Pick of the Day. So sit back, raise a glass. You're listening to Tech Time Radio with Nathan Mumm.
How to see a man about a dog. It combines darkly comic short stories, powerful poems, and pulp fiction prose to create a heartbreaking and hilarious journey readers will not soon forget. Read How to See a Man About a Dog, Collected Writings, for free with Kindle Unlimited. Ebook available on Kindle, print copies available on Amazon The Bookpository, and more.
This is Mike's Mesmerizing Moment, presented by StoriCoffee. Visit StoriCoffee.com. All right, Mike, here you go. What is all this excitement about companion bots right now?
Ugh.
We were talking about it. They're all over the news. So tell me what's going on with this.
Yeah, well, this is on the coattails of the whole Lambda thing we reported on about the Google engineer
Sentient.
that got because he thought it was sentient, and that's one of the issues that people are having with these companion bots, like you have on your smartphone or something.
Okay.
There are a significant number of people who believe that those bots are sentient and they are real, and that's dangerous.
Okay.
The reason why we do that, I've talked about it before, is because of our tendency to anthropomorphize things. So we attribute human behavior to things in many different ways. And the problem with AI and these companion bots, these chat bots, is simply because it mimics human communicational channels. Excuse me. We tend to start giving it more and more human qualities, and so some of these particular chat bots or companion bots, if you will, people actually believe they're real because they adapt to the way the people are interacting with them.
Alexa has to be real at my house because I tell her to turn on the television, and she like it's just like my wife. She's like just decides, do I really want to turn on the television or not? And
Really?
I'll be like, yeah. Then I'll say, Alexa, turn on the television. Alexa, turn on the television. Then by like the fourth time,
So you're saying
it turns
Alexa
it on.
doesn't listen to you?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Well,
it's like my kids, my wife likes everything. It's just
Yeah.
I don't
would
need
say
another
that's
AI
sentience
that does
there.
that, right? Then I'm like, oh my word.
I say thank you to Alexa.
And she says thank you back, right?
Yeah, she says thank you back.
Okay, there you go. She does.
You know, there's actually a thing where kids have been proven to be mean to their Alexas.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like when they answer back, they say "shut up" or "stop" or whatever. They treat it all rudely.
Well, maybe my kids treated my AI rudely.
Actually,
and she's got an attitude with
actually,
me.
that's a good point because I have my navigation system in my car.
Yeah.
And if I'm trying to get a particular answer out of it and it won't give it to me,
Yeah.
I will cuss at it and it will give me a little message that says, "Hey, even though I'm just an electronic feature of your car, that doesn't mean I don't have feelings."
Are you serious?
Yeah, something like that.
What vehicle do you have?
I'm not going to talk about
Okay, I got a Ford. My Ford, it just says
But it's my Android phone that
recalculating. Recalculating. All right,
Yeah, there
here
we
we go.
Yeah,
Okay.
whatever.
All right. Well, we're going to go right now into Nathan Nugget real quick before we get into our taste.
This is your Nugget of the Week.
Oh, that's why you're rushing it.
All right, here we go. I have in front of me, you will find the link on TechTime Radio. Guess what this is?
It's a cassette recorder.
This is a cassette recorder because back in the olden days, we needed to have cassettes, but this actually plugs into your computer and it converts your tape, which I'm going to pop out here, to MP3s. You see these tapes?
Yeah.
You can
I
actually
could get all
now,
those mixtapes that I used to make as a kid.
you buy this on Amazon and it's like $35. The link will be on techtimeradio.com. It is the Roadshow. Grab it to convert your MP3s from your cassettes. So if you ever wanted to do that, I'm doing that for some family loved music, and it is nothing better. Let me just
I don't even know if I have any cassettes left.
Well, you can buy an adapter on Amazon. Even though we just
if I don't have any cassettes,
even though we just reamed on them for what they do, this is available for $35.
Oh,
all right.
You know you're going to go home and buy stuff on Amazon, then get on Facebook, and then talk about what you bought
I hate
on
Prime Day,
Amazon.
and I get yelled at for
That's
that.
right.
Okay, well, let's do our pick of the day.
And now our pick of the day for our whiskey tastings. Let's see what bubbles to the top.
All right, Mike. Here we go. What do you think?
Yeah, thumbs down. No, I'm kidding.
You're going to give it a thumbs down?
No, this is a good one. This is one I would have in my collection. This is a really good sipping whiskey.
This is our Four Roses Small Batch Select, 104 proof, $64.95. You gave it a thumbs up?
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. All right, Odie, what do you think?
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Mr. Mumm is going to give it a thumbs up and an additional finger up, an additional finger. No. This is very good. This is very good.
You didn't even finish yours.
Well, I'm going to finish it. Hey, I've been trying to make sure we got things going around. I will have no problems drinking this as we go off air.
Because you were messing up your language earlier.
That's right. All right. Well, we thank all of our listeners for joining and being a part of the program. If you want to actually ask us a question, go to techtimeradio.com and click on the Be a Caller in the top right-hand corner and talk back on our recording system and leave us a message. And you can ask us a question, or you can email us crazy articles like crabs and whiskey and everything else that needs to be out there.
Chatbots and...
Yeah, I think AI are becoming live, because I swear that's what I'm going to do.
Stop.
Okay. All right. Well, everybody out there, remember, the science of tomorrow starts with the technology of today.
Yeah.
Yeah?
We still got like a whole bunch of free seconds. Bye-bye.
There you go. See you later, guys.
Thanks for joining us on TechTime Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment today in technology. The fun doesn't stop there. We recommend that you go to techtimeradio.com and join our fan list for the most important aspect of staying connected and winning some really great monthly prizes. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service, from Apple to Google and everything in between. We're also on YouTube, so check us out on youtube.com/techtimeradio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at TechTime Radio, remember, Mumm's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week.